in the end, with everything we've shared, the second to last chapter, this report is going to come out 5 different modules, chapters, whatever. The 4th module identifies 9 big questions that must be tackled to win together. Through all of this research, what rose to the top, how do we make sense? How do we break through the complexity of everything that we've just talked about? Well, what rose to the top were 9 big questions, that we call it, that both distributor and manufacturer are going to want to address. I think first, individually as a distributor, I need to get my leadership around the table, and we internally need to ask ourselves and drill into these 9 questions. Manufacturers need to do the same thing. And then after we do it individually, our partners, we need to get together, we need to come together and put these 9 questions on the table and see where the alignment is or where it is not. Make sense? Let's take a look at them. Number 1, obviously we have to ask, are we prepared to trust each other? If it's the number 1 issue, we must have this conversation. We must have this conversation. Are we prepared to trust each other? When you go at that question, here's a framework that you might utilize to drive that conversation. There are 4 different ways in which we can look at trusting our partners. One way is called distrust until. Distrust until. It says, we really don't know each other that well, and I have no basis to decide to trust you, but I am going to start from a position of distrust. Guys, do you know some people out there in the business, in the industry, who always start from a position of distrust? They're there. Let's put it on the table, and let's see where that drives us. Distrust still. You may very well be trustworthy, but I choose to never trust. I've been burned too many times. Have you heard it? Right? It's not about you, it's about my choice. No matter how hard you work to prove it, I will always be distrusting. Trust until. I will give you the benefit of the doubt and trust you until you behave in a way that's untrustworthy. I trust you, but as soon as you come and ask me for a personal favor, I elect to distrust from that point going forward. And trust still. Whether you're trustworthy or not, I will always choose to trust. How you behave, it's your choice. I can't impact it. But there's a framework that we can utilize to have this conversation. Are we prepared to trust one another? Because it's the number 1 issue. Number 2, are we prepared to fully understand each other's business models? Guys, I got to tell you something. This was probably the number 1 surprise I had throughout this research. How many times I heard manufacturers tell me that distributors don't understand how manufacturers make money. And how many times I heard manufacturers say, the other way around, all right? Or distributors say, manufacturers don't really understand how we make money. I mean, wait. It just blows my mind. Here you tell me it's a relationship type business. We've had a relationship for 30 years. Yet you tell me you don't understand how they make money? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't align. We have to have the conversation to fully understand each other's business model. Okay, I've seen manufacturers that take a dim view of distribution. They have no empathy for how difficult it is to squeeze profits from a distributorship. The other side of the coin, sometimes distributors don't know that we actually lose money on a handful of items. Just about all manufacturers do. So guys, we talk about it in the research. Has anybody in the room heard of Alex Osterwild's The Business Model Canvas? There's a phenomenal tool that you can utilize to have this conversation to say, do we understand each other's business model? There's 9 parts to his business model canvas. And we can sit around a table and just ask ourselves, or ask our partner to explain how their business operates utilizing that model. That would drive some questions. Where do you see the market going? What is your approach to the market? What are the core strengths? What are you building upon? How do those add value? And who are you uniquely positioned to add value to? What new capabilities are you developing? What are your business goals? What do you need today, tomorrow, 5 years from now? How can we help you get there? What specific role do you expect your partners to play? And you can go more and more. But if we're going to partner, Guys, we've got to obliterate the thinking that we don't understand each other's business model. Here's in the plumbing industry. This is Michael Werner, the CEO of Globe Union, a manufacturer of toilets and the like. And here's Monty Salzman. Some of you guys know Win Wholesale. He's the chief operating officer of Win Wholesale. After our innovation conference, these two got together and we led a 3-day business model innovation so that both a manufacturer and distributor could clearly understand how each other make money and see how they could partner going forward. Number 3, are we prepared to put the customer at the center of the partnerships? Guys, I think this is critical. I really think this is critical. Are we prepared to put the customer, not the distributor, not the manufacturer, at the center of our partnerships? Look at all of the different things that I had complexity that we put up on that screen earlier. All of these things that we talk about relative to why we need to partner, these are all internally focused issues. We're internally focused. How can I as the distributor win? How can I as the manufacturer win? Very little in this entire research project, very little conversation was put on what's really important. It's the customer. It's not about you. It's about the customer. That's why we need to partner. I think the reimagine of partnerships will give us a better opportunity to serve and provide value, increase value to the people we serve. That's what we need to be talking about with our partners. Deeper meaning value propositions are something that each manufacturer believes is their secret sauce. Finding ways to represent the most value to the mutual customer. My God, I would take those orange words, put them up on the board, and I would drive a half-a-day workshop or more. Just around, what can we do together to represent more value? Not for me, the manufacturer, not for you, the distributor. I'm going to assume that will come for right now. But to deliver more value for the customer. That's the heart of collaboration. Number 4, are we prepared to look beyond efficiency for blue ocean strategy opportunities, for blue ocean opportunities? Are we prepared to look beyond efficiency for blue ocean opportunity? This goes back to something that we talked about earlier, right? Serving existing markets has been commoditized. If someone's just going to you because they need a breaker or two, or breakers every other week, or one who needs it 4 times a day, you can easily optimize that. That's no longer a value proposition. If you tell me because you can get the right product to the right place at the right time, and that's why you should partner with me, what the market's telling me is there are others that can do that. We must think beyond the efficiency of the partnership. Now that we're efficient, here's the thinking. Now that we're efficient in serving our markets, how do we find new opportunities together? How do we find that white space, that unmet need to mutually collaborate and seize these opportunities? Guys, I look at technology. I look at 3D printing. Man, if I was a distributor manufacturer in this industry, I would get in a room and I would drill down into 3D printing. How is that going to impact the end user's experience? How is it going to impact? How might we together explore 3D printing? Not to go after more market share, but to create new opportunities. Does that make sense? I would get in and I'd talk about mobile. I would get in and I'd learn everything I could about the Internet of Things. I would get in and I'd learn everything about data and analytics. I would embrace it all because those are the things that are going to represent new opportunities going forward. What's our worldview of each one of them, man? Number 5, are we prepared to leverage the awesome power of data and analytics? Are we prepared to leverage the awesome power of data and analytics? Some of us are scared to death, and I get it, of sharing our data. We're not understanding the value of data and technology as a value driver versus a threat. That's the conversation we've got to have. What's the potential way it can add value? I think if we could shift away from data being a threat, that would be a positive thing. Data is a touchy subject. Here's the threat that manufacturers told us why they don't want to share data with you, the distributors. It's an overwhelming task to standardize the data. Potential loss of power, right? If I give all my data, all my product content to you, and you put it up on an e-commerce site, I've lost the power. Now it's out there for the world. Commoditization, it ties to that as well. And lost person. Look, I've worked so hard to develop the relationships at the branch. And Joe loves me. Whenever somebody comes in and asks for a product, Joe always drives them to who? My product. If I give you the data, man, Joe is going to be out of the picture. So there's real threats there. Let's acknowledge it. Let's talk about it. There's probably more. Here are threats to distributors. Right? Manufacturers take point of sale data and going direct. It's real. It's significant. I get it. But do you view it as a threat or an opportunity? Information being used where we're not representing the manufacturer, right? If you give me that information, I'm going to go and in this geography, I represent a different manufacturer. You've given me this data, or vice versa. Street pricing and market share being known. The incremental costs. Okay. Blue ocean, data and analytics. There's so much more potential, and the opportunity is so much bigger than the parts and pieces that we make and sell. The business intelligence that we as a distributor have on our customers, combine that with the intelligence that the manufacturers have, if we can trust each other, if we can break it down, there's no stopping the potential. Okay, they're giving me the sign, so here we go. 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, are we prepared to extend the partnering horizon? Again, I think this is crucial, right? A lot of the conversation about partnering had been around short-term, opportunistic things. We do business planning when we really look at customers, and we have the manufacturer, salesperson, sales manager in a room all day long. We talk about a series of customers and opportunities that are high potential. Both salespeople agree to plan. Everyone is accountable. I love it. But the partnering is around today. It's around this quarter. It's around this year. We need to extend that partnering. Look, what we need to do with our partners is we need to start talking about how this business is going to be evolving going forward, not just on today's opportunities. Generational changes, business model changes, e-commerce, alternative channels, technology. There's more. Those are going to impact partnerships going forward. We must extend that partnering horizon. Number 7, are we prepared and capable of investing in the future? Are we prepared and capable to invest in the future? Technology can make almost anything possible right now with enough investment moving forward. Number 8, are we prepared to build a market coverage strategy to maximize partnering? Guys, here's the root of it. When we talk about partnering, what are you really working for? Do you want to partner for the opportunities today, or to have a coverage strategy that maximizes partnering? There's all different models. We know it. There's exclusivity. There's selective. There's saturation. There's direct. There's multi-channel. He says, I don't know which option is better than the other, but you have to decide. Sometimes we'll say, oh, we're partners with this guy, but he's really the flavor of the day. You can't grow your business having the flavor of the day. And number nine, the last, is are we prepared to make partnering a core competency? Think about that thought process. Are we prepared to make partnering a core competency? As we started off 90 minutes ago, you guys, we can't just get around the campfire and kumbaya this. This is going to require new thinking. This is going to require new commitments. It's going to require new skills, capabilities, mindsets, cultures, models to truly reimagine the partnerships going forward. And what that suggests is partnering will become a core competency, just as manufacturing is, just as distribution is. It's going to become a core competency going forward. And it is hard work. There are models out there of organizations who have made partnering a core competency. And one of the things I'm real excited about is the 5th and final module of this is we've gone and we've studied how Cisco partners with their partners. You know, I look at it as this. Cisco has HP, Hewlett-Packard over here, and IBM over here. 2 different markets. And you know what? Cisco has built in a process where they will go and they'll give their intellectual assets. They will give their intellectual assets to HP to go after a market. And over here, IBM competes with HP, but they're going to give their intellectual assets, everything their company is based on, to IBM as well. Why? How? I wanted to find that out. It's because they've made partnering a core competency. And we studied it in the last module of this research project is going to walk you through that process. So there you go, 9 big questions we're going to need to tackle going forward. There is a need to reimagine and rethink the manufacturers' partnerships going forward. I'm over time. If you want the slides, you can go right there. They're available for you right now. You can download those. I'd love to hear from you, too, over the next couple days as we go through. Thanks for coming here. And the evaluations. They'd love to get evaluations from you as you walk out the yellow sheets, okay? Thanks, everybody. Thanks.